Now, to get our little legs made, you're gonna take some more gum paste. And the baby elephant's gonna have short, little, cute, fat, stumpy legs. So we're gonna first test to see how much we think we'll need for each little leg. For me, this actually might be a little too much. I never know, guys, from the first time, you know, in the very beginning, I never know exactly how much gum paste I'm gonna need for each body part, so it's just trial and error. So what I'm doing very quickly, I'm not really worried about the cracks and stuff right now. I'm just gonna do a quick teardrop shape just to see if the size is good enough. Okay, that's too much. So I took off some, rolling it into a ball. Still tons of cracks and wrinkles, but I don't care right now. I'm just seeing if the size is good. I might need a little bit more, okay? So if you're gonna be making a baby elephant the same size as the one that I'm making, then you will need for each leg, you're gonna need to roughly roll out a ball approximately an inch wide, okay? So what I wanna do now is to make sure that both of my legs are gonna be the exact same size, is I'm gonna roll out a second ball and make sure that it's the same exact size as my first one. So that way I know that both of my legs will be the same. Okay, it'll look weird if your elephant's legs are different sizes. So this one's a little bit too big still. Okay, that looks about right to me. So I'm gonna put away my other gum paste to make sure it doesn't dry out on me. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of shortening and knead my gum paste, get it nice and warm and pliable. Roll it into a ball. Notice how quickly I'm working, and I'm actually pressing very hard to make sure the gum paste gets hot. And that's the quickest way to get rid of cracks and wrinkles. Okay. All right, so to make the leg, you want to put your ball on your table surface or your work area. Okay. And pressing down with one side of your hand a little bit more than the other, a little bit at this angle. Instead of doing it like this, you're gonna be like this and start rolling out a fat teardrop shape. Okay, so here's my fat teardrop shape. And the bottom of the elephant's feet are completely flat. So now you wanna stand your teardrop shape up and just start pressing carefully and gently down on your work surface to flatten the bottom of your teardrop. So now you can see the elephant leg has a flat bottom, okay? I'm gonna make this the right leg. So what I'm gonna do is carefully pinch the leg and kind of curve it a little bit over to the right so that it will fit nicely on this side of the body, okay? But before I add it to my elephant's body, I want to go ahead and make the left leg excuse me, to make sure it's going to be the right size, okay? So there's the right leg. Now get a little bit of shortening and let's knead the left leg. And this is where we're gonna actually find out if we actually did roll out two balls the exact same size. A lot of pressure, a lot of heat, work quickly, and this is how you get your cracks and wrinkles out, okay? Not a single crack or wrinkle. Put it on your tabletop and roll out a fat teardrop. Okay, there it is. Lift it up. Gently flatten it on your work surface as you're twisting. Okay. And now we're gonna pinch the top just slightly. Okay, you don't wanna make it completely flat. And now we're gonna turn it inward because it's gonna go on the other side. Now I'm checking to see if they are the same size. This one ended up being a little bit longer, so I'm just gonna carefully pinch this one up. And now, as you can see, from your angle, they're the same size, okay? All right, so before I glue them to the body of my elephant, I wanna give the little legs some cute little wrinkles. So I'm gonna take my knife blade from my Wilton shell tool, okay? And just at the knee, I'm going to indent just a few little cute lines, just randomly. There's 3 little lines there. And on the other side here, maybe add one on the top, maybe a couple more on the top. So as you can see, that looks really cute, okay? That's gonna be my left leg. I'm sorry, my right leg. Okay, here's the other one on one side of the leg. And on the other side. A couple on the top. Okay. So there's my 2 little elephant legs. All right. Now I'm gonna add them to the body. So what I'm gonna do is take a little bit of edible glue and put it just on the inside. So if my leg is gonna be positioned right here, then I'm only gonna add a little bit of glue to this area. Only the areas that are gonna be touching the body, because then if you just put it everywhere, then you're gonna have to do a lot of cleanup work later on. Okay, so that's all about that's just about the part that I think is gonna be touching the body. And I'm just gonna put it up against the side of the body here and gently press with my finger. Okay. If you see that you have some gum paste that is not completely touching the body of the elephant, you can just take whatever you have, such as your blade knife, and just press it in. Okay. If you see a little bit of excess glue come out, that means you put a little bit too much, and you can just wipe it off. Okay, so there's the first little leg, and that's the way it should be sticking out in front of him. So I'll give you a 360 of what it looks like so far. Okay. Okay, now this will be his little left leg, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue to the area where I think will be touching the body. Not a lot. Okay. And again, place it on the right side and just gently press up against your elephant's body. Okay. What I'm doing right now is looking at it from behind. So if you were me, you'd be looking at it this way from behind, and you want to make sure that these 2 points here are the same. You don't want this leg coming out back more than the one on the right. You want to make sure that they're in the same place from behind. Okay. And just taking any tool you have to press the bottom of the leg inward. Okay, so there's what the little legs look like so far. All right, now we're gonna basically make the little arms. Well, I know elephants don't have arms, but you know, the little arms on the top here. We're gonna do them the same way. The little feet are gonna be resting on top of their little legs here. So again, I'm gonna just test a piece of gum paste to see if it's gonna be the right size. Generally, the arms, you want them to be a little bit smaller than the legs. So let's see if this is gonna be enough. I'm not worried about cracks and wrinkles right now. I'm just trying to get an idea of the size. Okay. When you use foam core, guys, keep in mind that sometimes the little white tiny pieces fly everywhere, so just make sure that you don't get it in your gum paste. Wow, that's actually about right. Okay, that rarely happens where the first test actually works, but this is the size I'm gonna use. Okay, so what do you do next? You roll out a second ball to make sure that your second arm will be the exact same size as your first. Okay, let's see. I have a feeling this might be too big. A little bit too big. Okay, those look about the right size. Okay, and if they're not, you know, exactly the same size, no big deal. Nobody's really gonna notice, but you do more or less want them the same size. Okay, or else you'll have to make excuses for your elephant and say he got injured or something. Okay, so I'm kneading my gum paste. I'm gonna get all the cracks and wrinkles out, so I'm gonna start rolling very quickly, adding a lot of pressure. Okay, all my cracks and wrinkles are out. Again, put it down on your work surface. You're gonna make a fat teardrop. Okay. And then now you put it down on your tabletop. And you flatten the bottom. Notice how my fingers are at the very, very bottom, practically mostly on the table, because that way you make sure that the bottom is completely flat on your foot. Not rounded, but flat. Okay, so there you see a nice flat bottom of the foot. This will be my right arm, so I'm going to just pinch a little bit and curve. Okay, let's test it to see if it'll look cute once it's on here. Yep, that's about right. Okay, so that's my right arm. Now let's make the left arm. Grab a little bit of shortening if you have to. Knead. Flattening the foot. Okay, this is gonna be my elephant's left arm. So just pinch and then curve a little bit to the left. Okay, now I want to see if they're both the same size, and they look like they are. Okay. Alright, now let's give the little arms some little wrinkles. So the same way we did the legs, take your blade tool or any straight edge that you have, and I'm giving you a view from the front, so the wrinkles that we're going to add will be just a few on this side and a few on this side, a couple on the top. Okay? That's the right arm. They're very random, okay? They don't have to be perfect. The more random, the cuter it looks. So there are the two arms. Now we're gonna glue them onto our elephant's body. Take a little bit of edible glue. And this is the right arm, so just a little bit here where I think it's gonna be touching. Since I know the foot is gonna be on top of the leg here, I'm gonna add just a tiny little bit of glue on the foot where I think it's gonna be touching the other foot, okay? So you wanna put your arm right over the part of the cone here. Okay, that's pretty much where we want it. And again, if you have some excess glue coming out when you pushed it down, just quickly pick it up with your brush. You notice I have a little paper towel always handy. Okay. Since I see more of the arm touching, I'm gonna add a little bit more glue there and press it up against the body. Okay, that's how it looks from the front, from the side, and from the back. Okay. So now let's glue the other arm. A little bit of glue. And a little bit on the bottom here that I know is going to be touching the other leg. Okay, again, you want to make sure that the arms start in the same place on the top of your cone. Make sure they're positioned the same on both sides. Okay. Take a look at it from behind and make sure that they look the same on both sides. Okay. Always gently press inward and make sure that all the parts that you glued are touching the body until you feel secure that they're nice and glued, okay? So there's the body so far.